Carole Lovell again. This time we're going to talk about how to understand the emotional brain. We're born with 7 emotional circuits. Those 7 circuits are a part of us from the beginning. We have the seeking circuit, the fear, lust. We have a circuit for panic, grief, or pain, and that's about loss or sadness. Rage and anger is a circuit, and then love and connection, which becomes our support system, and play, social, and joy, which is a very important system as well. So the purpose of emotions, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to be emotional about that, or I don't like emotions, or I've been told I shouldn't have emotions. So of course that is totally impossible and incorrect. And so we have emotions. They're there to keep us safe. Emotions tell us when something is wrong, when we need to do something, when we need to maybe change something, or when we need to find something. So they're not only to keep us safe, but also to help us to communicate and build relationships with others. Emotions are located in the brain and in the mind. They're primarily in the amygdala, but they run throughout the mind and the brain. So the brain is composed of innumerable parts, but to simplify it, I divided it into bottom brain, which we're born with, middle brain, which is influenced by the people we meet, and then a top brain, which contains the beliefs that we form about ourselves and about the world. So, bottom brain, I act. That's why when we start to cross the street and a car rounds the corner, we're back on the curb. We don't have to stop and try to think about what we need to do. We're already there. And that's what the emotion does for us. We're influenced a lot by the people who are in our life, especially those in the beginning of our life, and we begin to take on feeling about ourselves some of the things that we've heard from others. But as we grow and develop, we form beliefs, many beliefs about the world and about ourselves. And so that is considered top brain. So the bottom brain, I act automatically. I do what I want when I want, and I'm going to act to your benefit. If it's something you need to do, I will let you know that. If it's a way to keep safe, I will let you know that. This is all in my effort to keep you safe and give you healthy relationships. So the brain functions actually on 3 different levels. In the top brain is where we make decisions. It's where we learn to reason, problem solve, and make judgments about things that are in our life. The middle brain, though, holds on to all the past failures that we've had. It reminds us over and over about inadequacies by repeating all our beliefs about ourselves, and that's what we call our core beliefs. And those beliefs that are deeply embedded, sometimes influenced by other people, and sometimes influenced by events or traumatic experiences in our life. But bottom brain, you're born with me, so I contain the amygdala and I manage all of your emotions. I became very enamored with thinking about emotions, and so when I went to Disney World a couple of summers ago, I met joy and sadness. and joy is just lovely. But I felt really compassionate towards sadness because she seemed so sad. So my answer was, I thought I would do EMDR with her to make her feel better. But she said, oh no, she said, my job is to let people know that it's okay to feel those emotions. And it's okay if they show those emotions to others so they know how we feel and can understand us better. So I just thanked her and gave her a hug. So I think she's probably still sad. So like I said earlier, bottom brain contains 7 emotional circuits. The seeking circuit goes all the way from a mild interest that we might have in something to curiosity to all the way to addiction to things. It is what we want. It is what motivates us. It is what moves us forward to getting our needs met. So the strongest emotion we have is fear. Fear is there to keep us safe, and it causes the flight response. So energy goes to the bottom part of our body so that we can run or get away from something. Lust, of course, maintains the species, creates intimacy in our relationships, and can be a stress reliever as well. Panic, grief, and pain is the sad emotion. Those are about loss. All of that panic is about loss, grief, pain. All of those things mean that we've lost something, and it's generally something important to us, and it creates a sadness in us and causes sometimes the freeze response. The next one is anger and rage. We get mad sometimes, and when we get mad, that's telling us something's wrong. There's probably something we need to do, but we need to be careful so that we do something that is helpful instead of something that's going to make things worse. Then we have the care and connection circuit. That's our love circuit. That is what allows us to build relationships with our spouse, with our children, our parents, our siblings, all of those people that are close to us that we love. And we have that feeling of wanting to be there for that person. And the last one is the one that gets most easily ignored by adults, and that's the play system. That is our need to be social, to have fun, to have joy in our life. Children do that very well, but adults sometimes get so bogged down in the ordinary and the everyday responsibilities that we forget to play. So play is very important. It activates almost all of the brain so that we can completely lose ourselves in something when we play. Just to elaborate a little bit more, the seeking system keeps us motivated. It causes us to get our physical needs met, what we need to eat, how we exercise, sleep, but it can get us into trouble too. It can cause addictions to things that are harmful and not good for us, and then we think we have to have them. So we also are seeking relationships and people, and we seek out social things and spiritual. We all have a need for something, some kind of higher power. And then we have intellectual needs. We want to learn, we desire to learn, we want to learn many things and are curious about things. And that's because of the seeking system. Keeps us going. Fear, of course, is an emotion that keeps us safe. We desire something with us that's going to make us feel secure. Sometimes we talk about developing a peaceful place where we go to in our imagination just to think about something very peaceful and calming. Children, of course, need to be near their caregivers, and sometimes their pets can fill in that gap too. So fear is the emotion that tells us better run, better do something, we need something, and sometimes we fear losing something. Lust, of course, maintains the species and fosters intimacy, so it's very useful. Panic, grief, and pain may be the most complex of the emotional systems. It deals with everything like our fear of abandonment, our loss of somebody that we love, criticism of ourselves, fearing things like climate change, terrorism, change of any sort. It causes us to get into depression, feel disconnected, lonely, isolated. It makes us sad sometimes about roads we didn't take, things we did not accomplish that we had planned to. And then there's some ancestral kind of trauma, some people who are so disillusioned and sad as they raise children that becomes a part of who we are. So panic, grief, and pain is all about loss. We've lost physical health, emotional well-being, and something is just missing from our life. And so that creates that sad or freeze response. Anger, of course, creates the fight response. We want to do something. We want to get even. We want to make something happen. It tells us when something's wrong. So, but we want to be effective in how we handle that because we don't want to do something that's going to make matters worse. So we want to wait. And that's an acronym that means, what am I thinking? So how do I need to handle this? What do I need to do that will be to my advantage as well as fair to the other person? Love is our connection to people, that touching people, that touching people's lives, feeling connected, caring, compassion, warm feelings that we have for people in our family and our friends and those people that are very close to us. Love draws us to people. And then there's play. Children are great at it. They can absolutely lose themselves in play and become cowboys or Broadway dancers or movie stars or all kinds of things, and play that out and have fun and just imagine all kinds of things. But adults sometimes lose the ability to feel pleasure. So when life gets overwhelming, we may get bored, feel isolated and lonely, have a lack of energy, and think about giving up. We're not motivated, and even can lead to thoughts of suicide or deep sadness. So we need to be sure that we engage that play system so that we can lose ourselves in something that we're doing, forget about all our troubles for a little while, and just abandon ourselves to just play and feel the joy that comes with that and the fun involved. So again, those are the circuits. That's part of what we call bottom brain. Middle brain reminds us of all our past mistakes and failures. We seem to store those up so that when things are bad, we replay everything. Every bad thing we can think of comes to mind, like I'm a failure, I'll never be good enough, never do anything right, I'm alone, I'm unlovable, or I'm powerless. Sometimes these are things that other people have told us, and other people have tried to define us with some of these beliefs. But as we get healthier and we learn to identify these beliefs as being maladaptive, we seek to find things that are going to be more adaptive. Top brain, again, is our frontal lobe. We learn things all of our life that can help us make better decisions, better choices, use more accurate judgment, and bring thoughts to mind about maybe past things that help us to be responsible and accountable. This part of our brain is where wisdom lives. I'm wise and consider all the facts before making a decision. And so that is a very compact lesson on how the brain and mind work and store our emotions as well as our developmental mind.